The only way to go from here is forward. On October 10th, Saturn, the Lord of Karma and the material world, is going to station direct. We are going to be feeling this when a planet stations retrograde or direct. The energy of that planet permeates the collective backdrop. So what Saturn does is a couple things. Saturn can kind of just sober us all up, put our feet on the ground, and just take a deep breath. It just kind of brings a clarity, a much needed clarity, especially after how crazy this week has been and how much Pluto we've had and all the new moons and the Kazimis and just so much has been happening, that this Saturn station can really just ground us, can really just bring the energy down just a bit so that we can all just perceive with clarity a little bit better. Sometimes the Saturn station can just make everything feel blah. Like nothing feels so exciting yet. Like remember, Venus is in Sagittarius, but it's still in that South Node at this point. So we're not ready to turn up quite yet. And that works well with Saturn because Saturn is just like, yeah, don't really feel like it right now. Like Saturn stations really invite us to be present. And so we need to maintain this level, okay? That is just kind of what's happening right now. We just need to be clear of mind. I know that when Saturn stations, I really don't feel like doing anything that's mind altering in any way. I really just want to be present with what's being shown. That has always been true around a Saturn station, is just being present with what is being felt and seen, even if it's unpleasant, because sometimes that can be the case with Saturn stations. Is it can make us feel blue. It can make us feel a little bummed out, especially if there's a good reason for that, or especially if because Saturn is transiting an important point of our chart. But if Saturn isn't transiting an important point of your chart, you may not feel this at all. You might just kind of just tap into that, just like everything's just kind of blah today, like nothing special, nothing to write home about, and that's okay. Saturn is why. So if you're usually a really joyous person and you're just not feeling the vibe today, that's why. Saturn really just wants us to be baseline right now so that we can be very perceptive and pragmatic and all of those good Saturnian things. Just really focused on the things that really matter right now and the things that are calling our attention in a way that are meant to help us grow. Because if you are having a Saturn transit, you are really going to feel this one. And we know that Saturn is all about doing our duty and our responsibility and doing the things that we don't necessarily want to do, but know we should do because it's going to bring more support to our lives. So this Saturn station is kind of exciting because Saturn is moving direct. Saturn's going to be stationing at 6 degrees and 53 minutes of Aquarius. And the exciting thing about this is that hereafter, Saturn is going to gain momentum and enter new territory. So I feel like all the kind of backward steps in time we've been taking lately, it seems like politically, we're going to be kind of driving that ship back forward with Saturn's direct station. We're going to be entering new territory of Aquarius here in time. And that's going to be exciting because Saturn is now direct. That is good. Planets like to be moving direct. Saturn is also in its domicile, which is really strong. And Saturn is in its diurnal domicile, which is even stronger. So Saturn is ready to rebuild. Saturn in Aquarius is innovative. It's thinking practically, realistically. We're still in kind of that square to Uranus. So we're now at the point where we can start to see some big changes start to be implemented. We've been in discussion about these big changes all year long. We are living in unprecedented times, as they say. And so it's a really useful time to have Saturn in Aquarius, which is innovative and is thinking about the future and thinking about progress and does like to lean more towards the progressive because that's where we know that we need to go. Saturn in Aquarius is colored by this square to Uranus. So what's happening is that we are taking big quantum leaps forward because that's what's necessary. Sometimes the thing that seems the most outlandish or the most wild and revolutionary is actually the most practical. And that's kind of what we're experiencing right now. I'm going to be talking a lot more about the dynamic between these planets at this upcoming conference at NCGR's online virtual symposium. It's called Saturn versus Uranus, Bridging Tradition with Innovation. I'm going to be talking more about these two planets in industry. And I've also talked a lot about the Saturn-Uranus square on this YouTube channel. So go ahead and find those videos. So yeah, we're going to be definitely noticing that theme. Even though Saturn and Uranus are kind of far apart by zodiacal degree, there's still an emphasis on this story. And Saturn is really focused on doing what's necessary and doing what's best for the future with being in the sign of Aquarius. So we're going to be feeling the sense of dust yourself off and let's focus on moving forward. Like, let's quit stalling. Let's quit going backwards. It's time to really go forward. It's time to rebuild. It's time to put our heads together. And yeah, Aquarius is hive mind. It's time to work on something for the collective well-being. All of us need to participate. So yeah, there's some exciting things that are happening. This last Saturn-Uranus square is coming up with Saturn moving direct, and that's going to be on December 24th. So yeah, I think while Saturn is direct during this next chapter of Saturn direct, we're going to see some cool innovations start to happen. Let's not forget that the internet is having a Saturn return. So that means that the internet, the World Wide Web, which was very revolutionary, was started during Saturn in Aquarius. So who knows what else could be coming forward, and especially with developments with technology. But yeah, so that is our Saturn direct astrology shot of the day. And if you're having a Saturn transit and you want to talk about it more, I'm available for one-on-one consultations, and I look forward to chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine, or visit me at my website where you can book your next reading, and I look forward to discussing your chart with you in more detail.